Hello and welcome to Read. Today I have another pretty fun or pretty easy video for you. I know that in my last video I talked about how I was finally going to get back into book reviews, but we had the yearly USYD book fair, or the University of Sydney book fair. I, as expected, went and bought quite a lot of books. I think I bought a lot more books than I did last year, or maybe it was about the same, but this year around I spent, I think, a total of $150, and no book cost me more than $5 out of any of these. So yeah, we're just going to quickly go through it because part of it will maybe shape a little bit of what my upcoming reading is going to be like, and I have a soft sort of plan to kind of give away some of these books, but I want to get your opinion first on if you actually want them. So, and you'll see what I mean in a second. Firstly, as well, we might have noticed it's such a classic read move to make a whole video talking about how I make videos, and then I talk about all my gear, and then immediately afterwards I get a brand new camera, which now I'm shooting in 4K. I'm officially 1/6 of Bruno Mars. But yeah, just a quick thank you again to my supporters on Ko-fi, because basically you made it possible for me to get this upgraded camera, so thank you again. Let's get started. I've got these 40-50-ish books softly categorized into fiction, non-fiction, and fiction, poetry and plays, and then finally non-fiction. We're going to start with two books. These are the double ups, and these are the ones that I'm thinking I might want to give away. However, yeah, I'll just show you. So the first one is this nice edition of the Brothers Karamazov. It is basically brand new, and the reason I'm thinking of giving it away, firstly, I already have it. I was going to give this to my brother, and it turns out not only does he already have this book, he has exactly this edition and this translation. The reason I'm a little bit hesitant about giving it away is because it is used, but also it has a little bit of a mark on the bottom here of the spine, and I was just wondering if you were to receive this book, would that be a big deal for you? Obviously, I'm going to make it very clear that this is the condition of the book, but yeah, just let me know. And the second one that I received is also a book that I own and that I'm sort of kind of partway through reading, although I abandoned it about a year ago, is Blood Meridian. This is a Picador edition, and again, the reason, so this one doesn't have any shenanigans with the spine, but it has some slight kind of just age wear on it, and also we've got a bookmark. Oh my god, someone's looking up. Oh, someone's writing words on it. Oh, we've got someone's address in here. Make sure I'll take that out before I send that to anyone, because I don't want to dox you, but to Julieta living in the Philippines, Julieta, would that be a woman's name? Did she give up the book at about the same point that I did? Page 118. Anyway. But yeah, basically on the horizon, I am going to, I suppose, reach 5,000 subscribers, and it would be nice to do like some sort of celebration or giveaway, and I'm thinking those books are going to be the reward. But yeah, let me know just in your opinion, you people who are going to be seeing this video, just if you think the condition of those books is all right for giving away, Next up, this is another duplicate. I bought this for my brother, and this is Flann O'Brien's At Swim Two Birds. I've already read this book, and I loved it, and I made a video on it. So yeah, I recommend you can go and check that out. And finally, there were about 700 copies of Ulysses there, so what I did was dig around and find the one that was the coolest edition, and also in the best condition, which I believe is this. And it comes with the dust jacket. This cost me $4, and this is without the dust jacket on. I think this is in really good condition, and I'm super happy with this. A nice little hardcover of one of my favorite books. Just look at that. Anyway, now moving on, we've got so the rest of the books are new books, and I have either heard of them or they were like completely blind picks that just hooked me based on the title or based on reading the description on the back. But these 3 books were actually physically handed to me by another content creator at 11th volume. For privacy's sake, I won't say what your name is because we actually had a fun interaction talking about names, but it was a pleasure to meet you, and he recommended these 3 books: A Month in the Country by J.L. Carr, and I'm just going to believe that this was written by Jimmy Carr. It's his side gig when he's not doing stand-up. He gave me 10th of December by George Saunders, and Saunders is going to show up again, but again, this really, really does look new, except someone's got a bookmark in, or a couple of bookmarks in. No addresses though. And then also Umbrella by Will Self. I don't know anything about Will Self, except I remember seeing a video of him talking about Dubliners at a lecture. But yeah, once again, it was a pleasure to meet you, 11th, and yeah, it was a fun haul. I also found and gave him Middlesex by Jeffrey Eugenides because I found a good edition and in good condition. Moving on, I think this will make my brother happy because this is one of his favorite books, Catch-22, and I kind of like the silver edition. I think this is also vintage, but it's in pretty decent condition, and I got it for $3. And in the same way that I'm always like to my brother, man, you so have to read Thomas Pynchon because I just know it's going to be one of his favorites. He keeps stressing to me that I really do need to read Catch-22. So yeah. Next up, a nice little copy in Oxford World Classics of Daniel Defoe's Robinson Crusoe. We have Anthony Burgess's A Clockwork Orange. I figured I would just get it. I don't really know if I'm going to read it. It's not in great condition, but it's $2 and it's pretty short. So may as well have added it to the collection. Mr. Palomar by Italo Calvino. I've read If on a Winter's Night a Traveller, and I've also read some of Calvino's essays, but yeah, his books are so short that it's kind of like, why not whenever you see them. This was a really cool find. This is probably one of the more rare finds that I could have gotten, and the author I was introduced to by Ruben To Readers It May Concern, but I found a novel by Christine Brooke Rose. This is the novel Next. And yeah, really surprised. This is brand new condition. I don't know anything about it. Apparently it's something murder mystery or something like that, but she's a postmodern writer. I'm really looking out for her anthology, which is like a tetralogy of works. But yeah, I got a novel of hers, which was really cool. Don DeLillo, Falling Man. This is a hardcover in basically kind of sort of new condition. I've only read White Noise, but yeah, figured for pretty cheap, $4, I would get a nice hardcover of this book. Got 40 Stories by Anton Chekhov. I know I've read some short stories by Chekhov, but I don't know which ones are included in here. Nevertheless, this this is vintage as well. This is one of those vintage books that kind of feels physically nice, which is always awesome. And it's in good condition, and it's got a really nice cover. I'll just give a little bit of a highlight to that. Not only do I not know what this is, I also do not know how to pronounce it. Mabinogion. Apparently it's like a Welsh or some sort of epic novel or tale from Wales, and a little bit of a crease on the spine, but books like this I'm just generally like, oh yeah, this is cool. I think ever since reading Fraser's The Golden Bow, I'm like, yeah, hit me up with any of these sort of subcategory of books. So yeah, the Mabinogion, let me know A, how it's pronounced, and B, if you think it's cool and if you think it's worth reading. Cool. A essentially new version of Autumn by Karlova Knosgaard. I got this because I learned that it's the first in the series of his like seasonal writings, and yeah, I think, you know, if I read Knosgaard, I'm most likely just going to start with My Struggle, but yeah, just keeping an eye out, and it was nice to find a good edition of anything by him. Next up, this is cool because this is an Everyman's Library edition. It's got a little bit of, I guess, some sort of dust, which I could probably scrape off if I was really determined to. But other than that, it looks in basically new condition. Conrad, Typhoon, and Other Stories, which is cool. I think it's got the African American of the Narcissus, Typhoon, and the Shadow Line. So yeah, I mean, like, it's an Everyman's Library book for Australian dollars, so how am I going to say no? Okay, next up we have, also this is the second last of the fiction. I've heard a lot about this. I don't know anything about like the plot, but this is the Gormenghast trilogy by Mervyn Peake. From what I've heard, it's sort of like a fantasy novel, but really well written, and it's got a lot of sort of literary value and literary worth. So yeah, tell me if this is a good find. It was for $3 for the whole trilogy, so I guess I'm pretty happy about that. Oh, we have another bookmark as well. What do we got here? Borders. I guess they bought it from a place called Borders, and they stopped at page 208. And lucky last, this was fun because you know, at the book fair there are like all the books that are on a table, but then also boxes of more books are underneath, and so I was just kind of digging around in the boxes under, and I see John Barth's face staring at me, and so I'm like, oh, I know this is going to be good, but is it going to be a book that I already own? And it's not. It's John Barth's Sabbatical, a novel. Again, don't know anything about this. It's in all right condition, but it cost $3. It was owned by someone named Brooke in 1987. So, very cool. And now we're moving on. So that was all of the novels or the fiction. We're now moving on to poetry and plays. First up, this is a blind pick. I don't know anything about this, but I was just in the poetry section and I kind of wanted to tell myself, like, just grab a random poetry collection and see if it sounds, you know, just as a gamble. Like, it's small enough. Don't always need to default to getting all of the great poets. So just try and read something random, and so I got Monochords by Yanis Ritsos, and I don't know anything about this, but I didn't even flick through really to read the poems. I just saw that it looks like he's a Greek writer and that there is some kind of Greek on either side. But if you know anything about this author or about this poetry collection, let me know. Okay, I got a couple of ancient Greek goodies. I got Epuleius, the Golden Ass, which is kind of in an alright condition. It's not bad. I got Electra and Other Plays by Sophocles. And I also got the Theban Plays by Sophocles. All of these are in kind of sort of okay edition. I think someone named O'Neill owned the Theban Plays. And then also we got the love poems of Ovid. So I'm pretty excited to read the Metamorphosis as soon as possible. But just having little books like this, I've realized that, you know, with reading, again, this mystery book that I've been teasing for the last couple of videos, that's sort of so big that it can be a bit hard to carry around. Really, the kind of tactical paperback poetry collection on the go is the way to go. So this is definitely going to be one of those like books that I just sneak in while I'm reading another kind of doorstopper. This is nice. This is a kind of slightly beaten up, but all in all still pretty good condition of Ted Hughes's birthday letters from the kind of Faber and Faber publishing. Got some highlighting, which, as we all know, I'm the biggest fan of. But it looks like they highlight the first poem, and that's it. So yeah, I guess that's they they figured out what they liked. So yeah, hopefully I have a better experience with reading this than the previous owner. This was a fun one. This is a nifty, this is almost like a little just kind of like coffee table book, but this is Birds of a Feather, and it seems to just be like a list of birds and then drawings and paintings and artwork about them, and then also some poems about the birds. So it can include haiku, or it can just include I guess just generally anything. Talking about swallows right now. Surely the most curious legend about the swallow is where it goes in winter. Confused by the bird's sudden disappearance, literally overnight, many believed that each year the swallows died, only to be resurrected, that summer gives a sacred birth to the dead swallow, as 17th century poet Thomas Carew put it, which is just kind of cool. I guess it'll just be fun to learn about different types of birds and enjoy artwork and poems. Next up, we have a pretty old edition of Virgil's The Eclogues and the Georgics. It's pretty cool. I read the Aeneid earlier this year, and I thought it was pretty alright, but I didn't kind of like wholeheartedly love it as much as I wanted to. But yeah, happy to read some more poetry by Virgil. Next up, Seamus Heaney's Electric Light in this Faber and Faber edition. Pretty good condition, a little bit worn, and it was we've got a message or a dedication in the front. Dear Robert, happy birthday. There are some beautiful things in here, and it was from Ivan and Christine, and it was in 2001. Well, Robert, I hope you loved it. And lastly, we've got this nifty, worn, faded as version of the Rubaiyat by Omar Khayyam. And this is cool because it has like some nice, firstly it's got giant font, but it also has some nice artwork in there. Alright, cool. Now, lastly, moving on to our non-fiction section. I should mention as well that these finds were over the course of 2 days. It was Saturday where I got most of the books. I got kind of close to 30 or 35 books, and then the following day I went and got about another half dozen just to kind of get to the final total. Next up, Thomas Sebiok. I'm so not pronouncing that right, but this is Signs and Introduction to Semiotics, which I'm pretty interested in. I finally found Barth's image, music, text. I mean, this isn't hard to find, but I found the book, or the collection that contains The Death of the Author. So I'm pretty happy to add that to the collection. This is a cool one. I don't know anything about this, but you know when you see a book in like a used bookstore and like this little radar or this ping goes off and you're like, I can sense that this book is rare. I grabbed this book, The Conscience of Words by Elias Canetti, and I don't know anything about it, but got it for $4, and I looked it up, and it looks like there is a version currently going on Amazon for $100. So pretty happy to have found this book. Let me know if you know anything about it and if it's worth reading. The Etymologicon. This book sold me solely on what the name is, but it's a circular stroll through the hidden connections of the English language, and I don't know anything about it, but I thought this will be a fun read. Maybe just like, I like etymology, so I'm keen. And my brother also bought, I don't know if it's the same author, but it looked like a similar kind of formatting and edition, but the Horologicon or something like that. But yeah, this is another one that just absolutely hooked me by the title, but this is The Well-Tempered Sentence. You know, I'm a fan of Johann Sebastian Bach, and this is a punctuation handbook for the innocent, the eager, and the doomed. This is one of those books that I imagine I'm going to love a lot more than I think I am, but this is Index, A History of the, which is just, I guess, by Dennis Duncan, and it is, I guess, a history of indexes, which seems like it'll be an absolute hoot, and it's essentially brand new. Alright, this is the third copy of Barth's Mythologies that I own, but I just got this one because A, it's $2, and B, it's got yet a different cover. The second one I bought and just gave it to my brother, so now I don't have anyone to give this to. Maybe this could be another giveaway book. It's got some kind of orangish pages, but if again, let me know in the comments if you think that those these three books would be suitable for a giveaway. This is cool. This is probably just like something someone decided to put together or extract it from one of her journals, but this is Virginia Woolf's How to Read a Book. Or How Should One Read a Book? Maybe How Should One Read the Title of a Book? This is Lady Sings the Blues. I'm really interested in this as the kind of autobiography of Billie Holiday, and I've heard that it's a very kind of sort of like tortured and also a very biased perspective, which of course that's exactly what you want in an autobiography. And Billie Holiday, I don't know, there's something about her that I've kind of been maybe sort of avoiding. I don't know, just when I think of jazz singers from that era, I kind of automatically just gravitate towards Ella Fitzgerald, especially for sort of learning repertoire. But I really do owe it to myself to really sit down and listen to a lot of Billie Holiday's stuff, especially with her her work with Lester Young. 5 Moral Pieces by Umberto Eco. I don't know what this is about, but it seems just like a couple of short essays or non-fiction pieces. So yeah, it's pretty short, and I like Umberto Eco. The Myths of Love. I don't know anything about this, but I just grabbed it because it's a hardcover, and again, I didn't look it up to confirm, but this had the kind of, it was also sending off the radar of, is this one of those kind of rare-ish books? The Myths of Love by Denis de Rougemont. Cool, I got a brand new version of George Saunders's A Swim in a Pond in the Rain, and I already have the paperback version of this, but this is, literally brand new. So I'm giving my paperback version to my brother. Finally, so this is a little bit of a running gag. Last year at the same book fair, I bought what I thought was a Herman Melville biography, but it was actually a biography of the biography of Herman Melville. This finally looks like an actual Herman Melville biography. This is by Andrew Del Bunco, and it's about his world and work. A little bit of scuff on the top, but other than that, very newish condition. Stephen King's On Writing. I kind of knew that at some point I need to buy this, but I may as well just wait until I get it for very cheap. This is in pretty good condition, and I'm glad that I got it for basically $4 in a nice big hardcover. I got Every Love Story is a Ghost Story, the life of David Foster Wallace, which I'm pretty keen to read about at some point. I know that this was a very kind of revealing book for, like some of the less awesome stuff that David Foster Wallace did with his life. But yeah, because I've seen the end of the tour, which of course focused on just that very short period of Wallace right after he'd written Infinite Jest, but this biography was done after he'd passed away, so I was able to get a kind of perspective of his whole life. Next up, full-on impulse purchase, and it's not in a great condition, but the reason that I bought this, which is the 7 Pillars of Wisdom by T.E. Lawrence, or Lawrence of Arabia, is that I'm probably not ever going to read this, but I knew that I was at some point going to buy this book as an impulse purchase just to own it, and so I figured I would just wait until I find the book for really cheap to add it to the collection. Maybe one day I'll want to learn more about the Arab Revolt. I watched the film Lawrence of Arabia, and I watched it on an airplane on the tiniest screen you could possibly imagine, with the worst mixed audio you could possibly imagine. But I just got this really old, beat up copy of the 7 Pillars of Wisdom, which is kind of cool. And lucky last, it seems like, although I'm very fortunate to have found this, I am cursed to stumble across every biography of James Joyce except for the Richard Ellman one. But this one is by Gordon Bowker, and this is James Joyce, a biography. And it's got James Joyce on the back playing guitar, and bonus points for anyone who can tell what chord he's playing. I believe the answer is an A7 sus chord. But yeah, thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Thank you for tolerating another booktubey sort of video. I promise really definitely that next week's video will be a book review or thoughts and comments on a book. Please do let me know in the comments section what you think about the sort of condition of those handful of books that I was looking at giving away. If you think it's alright, then I will look at around when I get 5,000 subscribers, I'll look at just doing a fun kind of giveaway and sending them to some random subscribers or commenters. But yeah, thank you again. I hope you all enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next video.